I am
Good. What
fine.
about you, sir?
Good, good. Very good to meet you again.
You look handsome today, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I hope so.
Good
No, you
afternoon.
are.
Good afternoon, everybody. Uh, Unfortunately, we have already missed a lecture the last week, and I have to say it was my own fault because it was a holiday, a kind of holiday, but we're in such an electronic education, we shouldn't actually stop our lectures. But some students, I have heard some students are complaining against such a thing. If it is a holiday, it's a holiday. So, anyhow, sorry. Inshallah, today we will much more. We will move much more in our text. The Tempest, Experience Classics, The Tempest. I don't really remember where we have been last. Where exactly?
Act 3, Scene 3. We
I said
completed.
Act 3,
Act
Act
3, Scene
3,
2. We
Act
didn't
3, Scene 3.
complete it.
2.
Yes, Act 3, Scene 3.
Act 3, Scene
Scene 3.
3. Yes. Enter Olenzo, Sebastian, Antonio, Gonzalo, Adrian, right?
Right, sir. We reached to that.
Yes. Yeah. We are there. Nice. Now, let us write something about the scene. Please do. Act 3, Scene 3. Is where Prospero is going to show us his peak of magic by controlling his enemies on the island. Our minds up. You remember that Shakespeare divided the groups on the island to 4 groups, where we have Miranda, Ferdinand, and Prospero. This is one group. Again, we have the king, Sebastian, Antonio, and others, Gonzalo. This is the second group. The third one, well, Caliban right now, and Stefano. The fourth, actually, we are not going to meet, who are the staff of the ship, the mariners. So now, in this scene, we are going to meet with Gonzalo, I mean the kings and his attendants, his friends. They are sitting when Prospero shows them his own ability and magic power by sending them some certain spirits. Gonzalo, by Larkin, I can further say my old bones ache. Here's a May strode indeed, through fourth night and man. By your painters, I need must rest me. I need must rest me. Now, they are walking and looking for Ferdinand in hope of him. Now, the next page, line after 17. Sebastian aside to Antonio. Did you find this? Aside to Antonio.
Yes, sir.
I say tonight no more. Then suddenly, sun and strange music. Strange music, please do highlight. Prospero on the top, invisible. وهم قاعدين أو يمشون ويتحركون وكذا يدورون على فرديناند وفجأة music وProspero in between. But he is invisible because he's a magician, right? He is invisible. Alonso, what harmony is this? He means the music. What harmony is this? My good friends, hark. Gonzalo, marvelous sweet music. Now enter, highlight, enter several strange shapes. Strange shapes. بين قوسين طناطلة. Right? Enter several strange shapes, bringing in a banquet, which is a kind of food, وليمة, عزيمة, and dance about it with gentle actions of salutatory and inviting the kings, his friends, to eat. Now they are very hungry actually, and some certain banquet is there by magic. يفرشون قدامهم وليمة والملك وغونزالو. Now, Alonso, give us kind keepers, heavens. What were these? What are these? Right? Yeah, who's going to...
زين دكتور هسه هم شافوا الطناطة بس لو بس الاكل العفو.
منو الاكل جابه؟ جابته ارواح بالتاكيد. Now.
نعم بس دكتور هم جاي يشوفون هسه ارواح واكل مو؟
بالضبط. Now, strange shapes احنا قلنا بالمقدمه بالstage directions. Shakespeare says enter several strange shapes, right? Bringing in a banquet. Anyhow, Sebastian, who is going to read today?
Can I, Doctor?
May I, sir?
يعني اثنين، حيدر عامر وبعد
Yes,
منه
sir.
وطالبة عندنا منو؟ طالبة your name please.
رسل قيصر.
رسل. خلي نبدي.
Okay.
Yes.
من Alonso, sir? Line 20?
Yeah. Sebastian, 11.
Okay. 11 drollery. Now I will believe that there are unicorns, that in Arabia there is one tree, the phoenix throne, one phoenix at this hour reigning there. Antonio, I'll believe both. And what does else want credit? Come to me.
Yeah, he says I can believe what can I hear of the classical tales and narratives. I can believe احنا نسمع سوالف الجن والجنيه وكذا. بالضبط والف ليله. فمنها وهيك بعد اللي شفته راح اصدق كل شيء. Yes. And
I'll be sworn 'tis true. Travelers near did lie, though fools at home condemn them. Gonzalo, if in Naples I should report this now, would they believe me if I should say I saw such islanders? For Kurds, they are people of the island, who, though they are monstrous shape, yet note, their manners are more gentle, kind than our human generation. You shall find many, nay, almost any. Prospero aside.
Yeah, just one. Now again, Prospero aside. Thank you so much, Haidar. Aside. Now, why aside? Because he's on the stage, and they are also on the stage. But Shakespeare says aside, so they pretend not to hear him. Aside, which means he's talking to himself. He says, "Honest Lord, right? Thou hast said well." He's talking about Gonzalo. Thou hast said well. For some of you, their presents are worse than devils. Says you are right. Most of you, within you, this group, worse than devils. Alonso. Yes, Haidar.
Yes, sir. Thou hast said well, for some of you their presents are worse than devils. I cannot see muse, such shapes, such gestures, and such sound expressing, although they want the use of tongue, a kind of excellent thumb discourse. Prospero,
Again,
aside,
aside.
praise in departing. Francisco, they vanished strangely. Sebastian,
They vanished, which means they disappeared. They have suddenly disappeared. Yes, Sebastian, no matter since they have left their veins behind, for we have stomachs. يقول لا بأس خلي يروحون هم المهم عافوا الأكل. So we have stomachs. We can eat. Yes.
Will it please you taste of what is here? Alonso, note 1. Gonzalo, faith, sir, you need not fear. When we were boys, we would believe that there were mountaineers, dew-lipped like bulls, whose throats had hanging at them bullets of flesh, or that there were such men whose heads stood in their breasts, which now we find. Each putter out of 5 for 1 will bring us good warrant off. Alonso, I will stand
Thank
to...
you. Yeah,
Yes, you're welcome, sir.
thank you so much.
You're
Yeah,
welcome, sir.
thank you so
You're
much.
welcome, sir.
Yes, Russell, you've done very well. Russell,
دكتور وين وصل؟ ما شفت.
وين شنتي؟ وصل line number 50.
دكتور تو
50.
آخر شيء ضيع.
Okay, 50. I will
دكتور.
stand to Alonso. Yeah.
Alt out my list.
Alonso, I will stew and feed, which means I'm going to eat. Although
I
my
will
last, no matter since I...
alt out my list, no matter, since I feel the best in past, brother, my lord, the dog. Stand to and do as we.
Just 1 second. Yeah, and do as we. Just 1 second. Now, thunder and lightning. As they are approaching the banquet, the moment they are approaching the banquet to eat, a thunder is striking, a lightning enter Ariel like a harpy, which is something terrible, claps his wings upon the table, and with a queen device, the banquet dies. In this moment, يعني باللحظة اللي مدوا ايديهم يردون ياكلون، ويجي اريل بشكل هاربي ويصف جناحاته وتختفي هنا اللحظة اللي Prospero is going to tell them what he really wants to tell because they are his enemies. You know, Ariel, you are 3 men of sin. This is number 1. He is going to direct his speech to Antonio, I mean Prospero's brother, the King Alonso, and Sebastian. Yes, Russell, you are 3 men of sin. 3 مذنبين انتم. Destiny that had... Yes, sorry. The floor is yours. Yes.
Thunder and lightning enter like a harpy claps his wings upon the table, and with a giant device the banquet vanishes. Ariel, you are 3 men of sin, whom destiny
Yes,
that hath to instrument this lower world, and what isn't the never.
Russell, we can't. Your voice is cracking. Your voice is really cracking. Sorry, your voice is not well. I mean, it's cracking. So thank you so much. Your name is there. You are 3 men of sin, whom destiny that has to instrument this lower word, and what is in the never see because your sins, the sea itself has thrown you up. You follow? The beautiful use, I mean Shakespearean. يعني شكسبير عنده أكثر من 500 مفردة هو مخترعهن، وهذا عندي جواب. Yeah. And this island were you are being more I had and even
عفوا دكتور، الصوت مالتك جدا مو واضح.
يعني يقتلون ريال. Ariel is a kind of you fool, he says.
دكتور جدا مو واضح الصوت مالتك.
نت يم الدكتور كله ضعيف.
اي وقف النت يم.
النت الضرب. you fool. حنسوي مثلا يعني هذا
دكتور ما جاي يسمع هسه.
دكتور الكاميرا وقفت والصوت مشوش جدا.
hello
sir.
hello
sir.
yeah. يعني هذا النت مو شو نسوي؟
عادي دكتور عادي.
اوكي
دكتور من الحوار مال اريال 53.
نعم. yes being most unfit to live, I have made you mad, and even with such like valor men hang on and drown their proper selves. Alonso Sebastian draw their swords, يجرون سيوفهم على اريال. طبعا اريال شنو kind of thin air, right? You fools يقولهم أغبياء, right? You and my fellows, I and my fellows are ministers of fate. We are the ministers of fate. The elements of whom your swords are tempered may as well warn the loud winds, or with, he says, you may warn the wind, but you can never hurt me. Yes, who is going to read? بعد رسل وحيدر منو يقرأ لنا؟
Could I say?
Yes, حسن علي. Yes, please.
العفو دكتور بس يا لاين وصلت.
لاين نمبر 60 حسن.
60 yeah 60 60
60.
Yes.
The elements of whom your swords are timber may as well with the loud wind, over which becalmed at steps kill the still closing waters, as diminish on dull that's in my bloom. My value ministers are like infordable if you could hurt. Your swords are now too messy for your strength, and will not be obsolete. But remember for that my bosses to you, that you there from Milan did sublet good prospero. Expand
yeah,
on
just one
sea.
second. Yeah,
Yes,
this
sir.
line, yes, Hassan, thank you so much. This line is very interesting. He says, but you remember that you three from Milan did supplant good Prospero. Now he mentions Prospero's name to them. طبعا هم ناسين بروسبيرو مو يهم الموضوع. وفجأة يجي واحد جني يلقيهم انتم اللي طردتوا Prospero. That you three from Milan did supplant good Prospero, exposed into the sea, مو شمرتوا وين بالبحر, which has requited him and his innocent child, he means Miranda obviously, for which foul deed the powers, delaying not forgetting, have incensed the seas and shores. Now, what does that mean, this sentence? The powers, delaying, not forgetting, have incensed the seas and shores. What does that mean? Who can translate this sentence in our own culture? منو يقدر يترجم لنا هاي الجملة؟ هاي جملة لطيفة جدا يعني. The powers, delaying, not forgetting, have incensed the seas and shores. Yes, all the creatures against your peace. Your peace. Yes. منو يقدر
سر يعني القوى حرقت البحر والشواطئ.
Now, I like this, delaying, not forgetting. بمعناها يعني الله يمهل ولا يهمل. ممكن تقدر هيك تقول. Delaying but not forgetting what you have done. صح مو؟ Yes.
دكتور صح.
Very good. Thee of thy son, Olenzo, they have bereft and do pronounce by me lingering perdition. Now, move on. He vanishes in thunder. Then to swift music enter the shapes again and dance with monks and mouths and carrying out the table. Then Prospero. Yes, Hassan Ali. Prospero, bravely the figure.
Bravely
Yes.
the figure of this Harvey, hissed through Prophet, my Ariel, across it had devouring of my introduction, hast thou nothing bit in what thou hadst to say. So, with good life and
Observation strange.
with good life and a precision strange, my manner ministers, their cheerful kinds have done. My height cares work, and these mine enemies are all night up in their destruction. They now are my power, and in
Now,
these feats.
Just one second.
Yes, sir.
Now, again, he emphasizes his own power, his magical power. He says, they now are in my power, in my mercy. And in these, yes, Hassan.
In their destruction, they now are in my power, and they are feats. I leave them while I visit young Ferdinand, whom they suppose in Darwin, and his and mine loved darling. Exit above. Gonzalo,
Yeah.
I name of something holy. Sir, why stand you in this strange star? Alonso, oh, it is monsters. Methought the billows spoke and told me of it. The winds did sing into me, and they thunder, the deep and beautiful organ babe, pronounced the name of
Do
Prospero.
pronounce the name of Prospero.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
pronounce the name of Prospero.
He says these magical things mentions Prospero's name. Now, who are
Exactly.
they? Yeah. The name of Prospero. It did pass my trepas. He says,
Therefore, my son, I oath is bended, and I'll seek him deeper
yeah.
than ere Bolmet sounded, and
Yes.
with him there lie mounded. Exit. Sebastian,
Yes. Yeah,
but
that's over.
one
Thank
fun.
you. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you
sir.
so much. Yeah. Yeah. In this way,
Okay, sir.
the scene is over. Prospero just came to send the spirits to them to let them know that Prospero is there and still alive, and to remind them of their own sin and what they have done. So then he moves on. He mentions, he says, I'm going to go to Ferdinand. Let me visit Ferdinand. Now, Act 4 is going to move on to another group, if you remember. Now he leaves the king and his attendants, and he goes to Ferdinand and Miranda. Let's see what he's going. Now, this scene, this act is going to be just one single scene. It's all about Prospero's way of handing over Miranda to her suitor, to Ferdinand. He's going to say, it's okay now, I am agree, she is your wife. يعني بهذا الأكت اللي هو act 4 راح يكون خطوبة وعقد وفرحة وهوسة وكذا، ويعني وحفلة، راح يسوي لهم حفلة ويوافق. يعني هو كان يعذب فرديناند وكذا، بس هسه راح نلقاه غير شيء بعد، على اعتبار now this scene actually is the scene which is already over is actually the climax of the text. Now we are the fallen action, we are reaching the fallen action where we find the resolution, the resolution of the play. Now act 4 scene 1, act 4 scene 1, enter Prospero, Ferdinand and Miranda. Now be with me in this. Prospero, يعني Prospero وميراندا وفرديناند موجودين، و Prospero is going to say something very beautiful. If I have to austerely punish you, your compensations makes amends. Now you remember I used to torture you. You have already suffered, but the compensation, the reward is going to be very big, very interesting, a huge thing. For I have given you here a third of my own life. Prospero is directing his own speech to whom? To Ferdinand. He says, I have already tortured you, but the reward is bigger because I'm going to give you my third of life. ضيك ثلث حياتي اللي هي شنو؟ بنتي ميراندا, right? So the reward is really immense. For I have given you here a third of my own life, or that for which I live, اللي أنا عايش لها, right? سبب لحياتي. Who once again I tender to thy hand all thy vexations. Thy vexations were but my trails of that love, and thou hast strangers stood the test. Now you have already passed the test. You've been in a test, now you are passed. Did you follow? يعني جاي يقول له عذبتك ومرمرتك وشلعت قلبك، اريد اشوفك قدها لو مو قدها. Right? تستاهلها لو ما تستاهلها.
Exactly.
Do you follow, guys? Are you there?
Following, sir. We're
With you,
following,
sir.
Very good, very nice. Now, but all he says, my trails of thy love, thou hast strangely stood the test. Here, afore heaven, I ratify this my rich gifts. طبعا هذا المشهد مضحك لأنه فرديناند يبتسم ابتسامة عريضة جدا. ف Prospero says, oh Ferdinand, do not smile at me that I posed her off. قال له لا تضحك بهذه الطريقة وإلا بغير رأيي يعني بعد ما أعطيك إياها. So this scene is a very nice, beautiful kind of scene. Sorry. For thou shalt find she will outstrip all praise and make it hard behind her. Now again we have a very beautiful thing. I do believe it, he says, against an oracle. Against an oracle. Yes. Yeah, very good. Prospero again, Prospero, then as my gifts and thy own acquisitions worthily purchased, take my daughter. مبروك عليك, right? Take my daughter. Now حلال عليك, خلاص وافقت. But highlight what I'm going to say. Very important. But if thou dost break her virgin knots before all sanctioning ceremonies may with full and holy right be ministered, no sweet aspiration shall be heavens let fall to make this contact grow. Now let's move on back to the same line. But highlight من كلمة but is a very important scene or a kind of thematic concern over here. But if thou does break her virgin notes, what does that remind you of? We have a theme over here.
دكتور جاي يحذر يقول انه ما يصير تلمسها قبل ما تبدأ
يحذر
الزفاف.
يحذر بعذريتها قبل الزفاف, right?
Yes, sir.
That's true. Now, write down, if you remember at the beginning, Act 1, Scene 3 or Scene 2, we have highlighted the theme of virginity when Ferdinand asked Miranda, if you are a virgin and your passion has never gone forth, I will make you a queen. So the theme of virginity in that time, Europe, the entire European nations believed in virginity, really believed in virginity. They cannot never a girl if she's not a virgin. But now everything has changed. The East, Northeast, still believe in such things, but in Shakespearean time, they cannot marry or get married to a woman that is not virgin. Now Prosper اكتب عليها virginity، يعني الثيم الفيرجينيتي تأكدت مرة ثانية، جاي تلاحظ. But if thou does break her virgin not before all sanctimonious ceremonies, may with full and holy right be ministered, no sweet aspiration shall be or shall the heavens let fall to make this contract grow. قل دير بالك، يعني العقاب راح يكون من الله. بعد شنو؟ but barren hate راح يكون بيناتكم. barren hate so I disdain and discord shall bestow the union of your bed with weeds so loathly that you shall hate it both. So be careful of that. Therefore take heed. This is a kind of much more ideological way of thinking, that if you touch a girl before marriage, you are not going to get any more grace of God, or God is not going to give you much more grace. Now move on to Ferdinand. As I hope, he says, for quiet days, fair shoe and long life. This is what I want. Fair and long life, with such love as it's now. Now move on. Move on to the next line. The most opportune place, the strongest suggestion our worst genius can, shall never melt. Now highlight, shall never melt my honor into lust. So there are different kinds of love, definitely, and there's what we usually call the platonic love, right? Platonic love, and the lusty love, and the spiritual love, metaphysical love, material love, all these, Now he says, my pure love, my platonic love, is never going to be changed into a lust. So great difference. Now Prospero says, fairly spoke. Sit then and talk with her. She is thine own. Now she's your wife. What in between? Ariel is coming. In between Ariel is it? What Ariel? My industrious servant. Ariel, enter Ariel. In between يجي طبعا من اللي يشوف Ariel بس Prospero. Yes, thank you, Hassan. Who is going to read?
May I, Doctor?
Yes, Zainab.
Zainab Moyed.
Yes, Zainab. من Ariel, what would my potent... Yeah.
Yes, Ariel, what my potent master, here I am. Prosper, thou and my manner follows, your last service did worthily perform, and I must use you in such other trick. Go bring the rabble, over whom I give the power, here to this place, and set them to quick motion, for I must bestow upon the eyes of this young couple some vanity of mine art. It is my promise. It's my promise, and they accept it for me. Ariel, present.
Yeah, just 1 second. Yeah, he says. Just 1 second, Zainab. He said, "Go and bring much more spirits, for I have already promised them to throw a kind of party." And they said, حفلة. يعني بس مو حفلة بالقاعة، حفلة على الجزيرة, right? فبروسبرو he's going to call the spirit, many goddesses are going to there. The goddess of rainbow, the goddess of rain, the goddess of fertility, more آلهة الخصوبة وآلهة المطر وآلهة هالشكل. راح يجون يسوون حفل ذول العرسان الجدة. تشوف yes he says Ariel, before you can say come and go and breathe twice and cry so each one sipping on his toe will be here with more than mo. Do you like master? No, just kidding. In which hear me call. Well, I can see. Yes, it's your floor. Zainab.
Yes, doctor. Prospero.
Move on.
To Prospero.
Move on.
Look there be true. Do not give dialects.
Line 59. 59.
59. Prospero, now come, my error, bring a glory rather than want a spirit, appear and barely no tone, all lies, be silent,
Yes.
soft music, enter Eris, Greece must point.
لا زينب 59 نلي إلى.
نعم دكتور.
زينب اسمعيني بس لحظة. line number 59 59.
Yes دكتور. soft music.
59. راح تبدي الحفلة وكأنه.
Yes.
Well, yes. Exactly. This is what I really wanted. Soft music. Enter Eris. Eris طبعا goddess of the rainbow. آلهة ال
انفصل عن النت. ليرس هذا آلهة القوة، أراد يقولها وطلع.
انك الساعة بسرعة ماشي بطرقاعة.
هاي بالكلية تطفي الكهرباء كل شوي لون النت تمتع.
حسن بس الدكتور اللي جاي يشرح ما الفيلم.
اي هسه هنا اكو مشاهد هاي ما موجودة بالفيلم.
ما موجود.
شوي بيها اختلاف. اي ما موجودة. عندك اكو إلهة شوي اكثر. احنا بالفيلم شفنا بس اريال، ما عنده بعد جنود اكثر، بس هنا لا، عنده اكثر من طناطلة مثل ما يقول هو دكتور شوكت. عنده هو مو بس اريال، وعنده الهات هو هم يتحرك.
شلون سالفة؟ شلون بس فهمونا شلون احنا بالنت.
No problem doctor. This is the internet in Iraq.
اوكي. يعني هذا الآلهة راح تحضر، وهي حفلة بالحقيقة، وصلوات وأغاني يعني وهالشكل. خلينا نمشي إلى لاين نمبر 120. اي لا فعلا 120 قبل 120 فرديناند this is a most majestic vision. طبعا الحفلة تصير كلها بواسطة الأرواح، وفرديناند ما شايف هيك.
دكتور ما
ينصدم.
كتبنا بس 119 و 123.
نعم
119 رسل
119 لا بس 119.
ضعيف ما امتحنكم، ما قصدي
جد دكتور يا ولد، جد دكتور.
اذا انا ضعيف.
عودة دكتور جيم، عودة
دكتور.
اوكي مو مشكلة، اوكي براحتكم. بس يعني انا الصبح اخذت محاضرة ما انقطع اطلاقا.
دكتور آسفين بس كنا نتفاهم على مود امتحان الفرنسي.
شلون؟
بس على مود كنا نتفاهم على مود امتحان الفرنسي. آسفين يعني صار.
لا 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 فشلة ولا شيء. على شنو والله فشلة؟ ماكو داعي.
شكرا
يعني يعني جاي تتناقشون ما بيها شيء صحيح يعني بالكلاس، بس وما تدرون بيها موجود، ماكو مشكله، ماكو مشكله ابدا. طيب خلينا نكمل ما دام صفه بركه الله. ما ادري هو هيك وقت ظهري يزدحم. يس. تنتهي الحفله، هذا كله حفله هو وتوشيحات وكذا. فردن طبعا ينصدم. now line number
119.
لا خلينا نتحرك بعد. 141 Prospero aside 140 139 هيك لقيتوها مو؟
42.
زين. Prospero aside I had forgot the foul conspiracy of the beast Caliban and his confederates against my life. The minute of their plot is almost come. Now, Prospero, after doing this kind of party, he is going to move on to Caliban and Stefano. Tranquilo, obviously. تذكرون انه كاليبان قال لستيفانو وترانكلو نلتم عليه ونكتله وكذا ونسيطر على الجزيره ونحصل بنته. Right. بالضبط. To the spirit, well done, avoid no more. شو يسوي؟ To the spirit, he's talking to the spirits, no more, the party is over. وينهي الحفلة. Ferdinand, this is strange. Your father's in some passion that works him strongly. Works him strong. What's going on? Never till this day saw I him touched with anger so distempered. I can see that he is very angry. Why he is angry? Because he remembered Caliban and his plots against his life, his conspiracy. Now, Prospero, he says, you do look, now highlight from the beginning. This is a very interesting quotation. We have a big thought over a kind of philosophy. تسمعوني مو طلاب؟ Excellent. خلي نقترعه هذا. خلي أحد. You do look, my son. He's talking to Ferdinand. In a moved thoughts, as if you were dismayed. Be cheerful, sir. Our revels now are ended. Now highlight. These our actors, what you have seen, the spirits. These our actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits and are melted into the earth, into thin earth. جاي يقول لها اللي تشوفها كلها شنو؟ spirits واختلطت في الهواء، انتهت، راحت، اختفت. Now, be with me. Melted into the earth, into thin earth, and like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the sun temples, the great globe itself, yes, all which it inherit shall dissolve. The entire world, the entire universe is going to be dissolved, is going to be disappeared. Why? Listen carefully. This is a Platonic philosophy of metaphysics. He says, yes, all which inherit shall dissolve. And like this insubstantial pageant faded, اختفت, leave no rock behind. We are, this is the most important line, we are such stuff as the dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. يعني ربما يجيك هذا اللاين الوحده، هو هذا اللاين الوحده. This is the way that the author is really trying, or not trying, he succeeded in injecting such thought, big thought. يعني شكسبير يحقن النص بهالافكار العظيمه ماكو. He said everything is going to be disappear. We are such stuff as dreams are made on. احنا شنو؟ احنا مثل الاحلام، نمر طيف ونروح ما باقين. And our little life is rounded with the sleep. Right? احنا احلام وحياتنا هي ملفوفه بالمنام او بالمنام. So here please do write on the same quotation. Do write. Shakespeare is referring تسمعوني؟
سمعنا الدكتور.
Yes, doctor.
Very good. Shakespeare refers or is referring to Plato's metaphysical philosophy. Plato أنا دائما أذكر لكم إياه أفلاطون. Plato's metaphysical philosophy and his theory of forms. عند أفلاطون نظرية الأشكال يسميها. Now why
Perfect forms, yes sir.
Sorry?
نظرية العالم المثالي والأشكال المثالية.
هي مو أشكال مثالية، هي نظرية الأشكال. Forms.
دكتور بس عيد آخر شيء.
أعيد آخر شيء. First to Plato's theory, to Plato's metaphysical philosophy and his theory of forms. Theory of forms. Now, this is, I'm saving right now because I'm going to write something on a PDF. So it's going to be much more clearer to you, like closer to the text. Now, Plato, actually, Plato's philosophy about this world, the world in which we live, he says we are not really living in a true world. This world is a kind of reflection of the absolute truth of the heavens. He believes يعني دائما احكيها انا يعني افلاطون لو في هذا الزمن داعش لان نظرته بالحياه فظيعه. يعتقد في هذا الجو ذي الكون وانا وانت وهاي الاشياء تشوفها هاي كذبه، هاي مو حقيقه. These things are all just a kind of reflection. شنو reflection؟ انعكاس. To what? Or what for? To the absolute truth, to heaven, to God. The mind of God is up above, and we are a kind of reflection. So we are not true substance. You follow? بعدين اجى ارسطو وقال له انت مشتبه. The world in which we live is a true world, philosophical enterprise. أشروا عليها، كتبوا عليها Plato's theory of theory of forms. Yeah. أنتم وياي مو؟
Yes, sir. With you.
Yes, doctor.
Yes, دكتور.
Very good, very good. Yeah, very good. Again, I really like this line. We are such stuff as dreams. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little lives branded with a sleep. Sir, I am vexed. Bear with my weakness. My old brain is troubled. Be not disturbed with my infirmity. If you be pleased, retire into your cell, and there repose. A turn or two, I will walk to still my beating mind. Now, Ferdinand and Miranda, we wish you peace. Exit. Ferdinand with Miranda. Now Prospero is alone on the stage. He says, come with the thoughts. I thank thee, Ariel. Come, enter Ariel. Thy thoughts I cleave to. What is thy pleasure? Prospero spirit. We must prepare to meet with Caliban. Now I need to meet with Caliban because Caliban is planning to kill him, because Caliban is planning something against his own life. Now, turn the page over, please. Prospero is going to say something again, very important. Line number, after line number 187, Ariel says, I go, and he exits. Did you find this line?
دكتور 137.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
صفحة 131.
Line number 187. Very good. Ariel says, I go, and he leaves the stage. Prospero is alone on the stage. and he's going to tell something about human nature. He's talking about Caliban. Listen what he says. Sorry. He says a devil. Right? He says a devil, a born devil. A born devil. Now, sometimes he is a devil by nature. Sometimes he will be a devil because of the environment.
By nurture.
Yeah. Here we have a very interesting observation. Listen carefully. A devil, a born devil, on whose nurture can never stick, on whom my pains humanly taken, all lost, quite lost. يا وصفة تعبت عليه وربيته وكذا, but he's a devil by nature. And as with the age his body uglier grows, so his mind cankers. I will plague them all, even to ruin. Now, highlight the entire thing and write down, please. Write down the dark side of human nature. Shakespeare is highlighting the dark side of the human nature. Some people are really dark from inside. I mean, whatever you give, they will never say thank you. They will never thank you. لو تعطيهم عيونك, اكو ناس لو تعطي عيونك هم ما يقولوا لك شكرا, او مو ما يجازون اصلا. So this is the point. He says a devil. This is the dark side of human nature. Some people are really dark inside by nature.
دكتور العفو.
Yes, حسن.
يعني كاليبان هو a human.
He is. He's first, he is a human being because his mother is a human, but she is يعني هو أمه ساحرة لا أكثر ولا أقل. يعني هو مو جني كاليبان, بس هو طلع مشوه, طلع يعني هو human beings by by creation. He is definitely a human being, but this kind of human being is distorted, deformed.
Maybe you could say he is sick.
Really deformed. He is deformed, definitely. He's a kind of disease. يعني شكله قبيح وكذا بس هو يعني مخلوق.
Human بالأساس.
Yes. Again, I'm repeating the same lines. I'm repeating myself. He says a devil. This is the dark side. Again, the dark side of human nature. Some people are dark by nature. يعني لوش ما تنطي, لوش ما تعلم, لوش بطبيعته, يعني بتكوينه. اكو ناس بالحياة ما تعرف تحب, يعني ما يقدر, يعني ما يقدر مو يعني هو ما يقدر, هو عدائي بالتكوين, عدائي ما يقدر يحب, لا يحب اهل ولا يحب صديق ولا يحب حبيب ولا يحب كذا. عرفت شلون؟ هو بداخله عدواني, وحتى من يظهر فهو ما يظهر بطريقه صحيحه, وانما يماشي المجتمع والجو, لكن هو بطبيعته عدائي. Now a devil, a born devil, this is that thought that I'm trying to, this is a kind of notion I'm trying to tell you. Some people in such way of entity, devil, a born devil, on whose nurture can never stick, on whom my pains, تعب اللي تعبت عليه, مو humanly taken, all lost, quite lost. And as with age his body uglier grows, so his mind cankers. I will plague them all. يقول بسيطة أنا كلهم. I will plague them. يتحلف بيهم. Now enter Ariel, loading with the listening. Now come, hang on them, come. Now Prospero and Ariel remain invisible. انتبه. Enter Caliban, Stefano and Trinculo, all wet. دخل كاليبان وذول السكارى الاثنين الوياه, شنو اللي ببالهم؟ يردون يقتلون بروسبيرو ويسيطرون على الجزيرة ويأخذون ميراندا وكذا. Now كاليبان, أنا تعبت. Who is going to read? ورا زينب مؤيد من يقرأنا.
Can I doctor?
Can I?
هسه ياهل منكم. خجلتوني يعني. خوش تقرون يعني الشعب اللي هم خوش قروا خوش طلاب حلوين ما شاء الله. هسه قدام الفاتح مايك هو حنين. يس حنين شنو؟
نعم حنين علاء.
حنين علاء.
يس.
يس
كاليبان.
حنين اقري لنا من كاليبان. يس.
يس. كاليبان pray you third
softly يقول لهم دير بالكم على كيفكم تمشون هم.
Yes. That they
يختلون جاي
planned.
لبروسبر يقتلونه. Yes.
That they planned Molly may not hear a footfall. We now are near his kill. Stefano.
His cell.
Yes.
حنين. He says be careful we are now near to his cell. احنا كلش قريبين على الخيمة مالته او على الكوخ مالته فديروا بالكم لا تدوسون حيل لا تطلعون صوت. لهم والله قادرين. Yes.
Monster, your fire which you say is Hermes fry his down literally better than blade they just with use.
Tranquilo, monster, I do smell all horse piss. This is a very kind of joke. At which my nose
is in great indigence. So is mine. Do you hear, monster? If I should take display.
ايش شنو هاي؟
A displeasure.
Displeasure against you.
So wait, but I lost monster. Caliban, good my lord,
give me thy favor still. Yes.
Be benten for the prize I'll bring they two shall wing
this mischance. Yes, thank you so much, honey. Yeah, thank you so much. Now move on to Caliban. He says, prithee, my king, be quiet. He calls him my king. طبعا ستيفينو كلش عاش الدور ويعتقد انه هو ملك على الجزيره وراح كذا يصادر وهذول يقولوا له كينج وكذا مصدق. سكارى العفو يعني لللفظه بس هم فعلا سكارى. prithee my king be quiet see thou there this is the mouth of the cell. وصلوا الى كلش باب الكوخ. no noise and enter. do that good mischief with which may make this island thine own forever, and I thy Caliban, for I thy footlicker. He is a slave by nature. Do you follow? I am footlicker, he says. Yes. Move on to the next page. line number 235. منو يقرأ لنا؟ شكرا حنين علاء. منو راح يقرأ لنا؟
أي دكتور؟ أي دكتور؟
زينب فالح. نعم زينب فالح ووراها أسراء هاني.
دكتور بس
يعني أنا السطر رقم 235. Stefano, be you quiet monster.
Yes, دكتور. Stefano, be you white monster, mistress line. Is not this my jerkin? He takes it down. Now is that Jackson? Under the line, now Jackson, you are like to lose your hair and broke about Jackson. Trunkle, do we still by line and level and like your grass? Stefano, I thank thee for that jest. Here is the grantment for. He is giving agreement. which shall not understand. While I am king of this country, still by line and liver, is an excellent pass of bait. There is another garment for تراني لو ما
Yes, thank
نستر.
you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Zain.
Welcome.
أسراء هاني. Yes, أسراء.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Tranquil monster, come, put some lime upon your fingers and weigh with the rest. Caliban, I will have done, and
On
we
it.
shall lost our time on it. We shall lost our time, and I'll be turned to pancreas or to a paste with four hips. Will now slow. Stefano, monster, light to your finger, help you bear this away where my hundred of wine is, or I will turn you out of my kingdom. Go to carry this, tranquil on this.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Very good. رابحة. مو هيك اكو إنه طالبة قاعدة تقرأ. Yes.
كان اي دكتور.
Can I?
ريام ما ادري انا يعني انا اشوف
Yes,
المايك
doctor.
ينفتح. يس ريام.
Yes, doctor.
يس ريام.
Tranquilo and
ريام
this
شنو؟ لحظة، ريام شنو؟
ريام أحمد رحيم.
ريام أحمد. Yes.
Tranquilo and this Stefano I and this. A noise of hunters heard. Enter
Just one second.
divers.
This must be read by me. Just one second, ريام, please. A noise of فجأة وهم يسولفون يمشون يردون يكتلون البروسبيرو. A noise of hunters heard. Enter divers spirits in shape of dogs. In shape of dogs. يجوهم طناطلة على أشكال شنو؟ Dogs. Just one second. And hounds hunting them about Prospero and Ariel sitting on them. قاعدين فوق طبعا شنو transparent I mean invisible. وهذول عايشين الدور يردون كتلهم بروسبيرو وفجأة يجيهم بروسبيرو على هاي الكلاب نارية ماكو ويصيح هي ماونتن هي سيلفا there goes سيلفا now Prospero. Yes, ريان. Prospero,
Yeah.
Fury. Yeah.
Prospero, Fury. They're tyrant. They're Hark, Caliban, Stefano, and Tranquilo are driven off.
Driven out. Yes.
Driven off. Go crack my check my goblins that they grind their joints with dry shorten up their sinus.
Yeah.
With
sinews. Yeah, with age crammed and more pins spotted make them. Yeah.
Then
Yes.
bird or cat or a mountain aerial hark they rock.
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Riyam Ahmed. Now, Prospero, the last few lines, he says, let them be haunted soundly. خلي يصرخون خلي يصيحون. This hour, this is again Shakespeare telling us Prospero's mastery of the island. He is the master of the island. Listen what he says. At this hour lies at my mercy all my enemies. Do you follow? All my enemies. قبل شوي عن يمين الملك وجماعته وخلاهم جوا ايده. بس منو؟ Caliban, Stefano, Tranquilo. He says, at this hour lies at my mercy all my enemies. خلاص بعد. Shorty shall all my labors end. Thou shalt have the right freedom for a little fellow and me service. Exit. The scene is over. The act is over. The scene is actually not really important scene in the sense of a plot progressing structure, but it's going to tell us two routines, thoughts, ideas that we came to know: virginity, obviously, the dark side of human being, and the dark side of nature, and the metaphysical philosophy by Plato. Now, Act 5, I'm not going to go to, I'm just trying to set our minds up. Act 5, enter Prospero and Ariel. Listen what he said. He again emphasizes his own power. He says, now does my project gather to a head. And Act 4 is the fall in action according to the plot structure. أنتم وياي تسمعوني مو؟ لا؟
نعم دكتور.
Very good, very good, very good. Now he says, now does my project gather to a head, which means all my plans really gather to a head. I mean, I have to finish what I started. يعني خلاص انتهت القضية. كل شيء جوي وراح اخذ اللي اريده. خلينا نشوف. أو انتقم بطريقتي. مو الانتقام اللي فاهمينه احنا. Listen what he said. My charms crack notes, which means I'm still a magician, powerful. My spirit obey, أطيعني. At time goes upright with his courage. How is the day? Which means what time is it? يعني بروسبيرو ما يحتاج يسأل أريال يعني يقول له بإيش ساعة. ليش هيك يقول له what time is it? What does that mean?
حتى للجمهور حتى يبين لهم.
Thank you. Thank you, Hassan. Very good. Now, this is Shakespearean way of telling the audience of his own three unities: unity of time, unity of thoughts. So this is for you, if you would like, if you have the ability to write a play one day. So you have to keep all these three unities in mind. يعني عندك 3 unities حتى تكتب نص. unity of time، وقتك بالمسرح مو مثل وقتك بالرواية. انتم تقرون بالثاني روبنسون كروسو، احنا نتبع روبنسون كروسو من صعد البحر وخلص لسته 20 سنة ويفتر بالعالم ما خلى درب، ونحن هو يكبر شيب واحنا نكبر وياه. right؟ هنا ما عندنا هيك. انتبه ايش يقول. How is the day, Ariel? On the 6th hour, at which time, my lord, you said our work should cease. بنفس الوقت اللي قلت شغلنا ينتهي، ساعة ب6. يعني course of a day. يعني المسرحية ما تطول، ما تكثر على تسمعوني لو أحكي لوحدي؟
سمعنا دكتور.
ممتاز. هلا بيكم. ممتاز. Now, Prospero says, I did say so when first I raised the tempest. هسه بما ذكرنا بالمشهد الأول. جاي تلاحظ شكسبير شلون جاي يلملم بغراضة، مو مثل اللي يحوك ينسج وبالتالي يقفل. تعرفون الحياكة مو بالتالي يقفلها، لازم يقفلها. قال بيش ساعة ب6. أوكي شو يقول؟ I did say so when first I raised the tempest. Say, my spirit, how fares the king and his fellows? شخبارهم راح يرجع. Confined together in the same fashion as you gave in charge, just as you left them, all prisoners. مجمدهم كأنما مقيدهم. All prisoners قال له موجودين بمكانهم وعادلين وكل شيء ما بيهم. A kind of prisoners, sir, in the lion grove where orphans yourself. They cannot budge into your release. The king, his brother, and yours, which means Antonio, abide all three distracted and the reminder. Now move on to the next page. Prospero. هنا هذا الكوتيشن اللي راح نقراه اهم كوتيشن بالنص، هو يعطينا تيمة الفورجيفنس، العفو. قبل لا اروح
عفوا
هذا
دكتور.
نعم
دكتور وين وصلنا؟
وصلنا لاين نمبر 20 بروسبيرو.
ثانك يو.
most welcome. ما راح أكمل أنا، ما راح أكمل، راح أقرأ لكم هذا اللاين، و البقية إن شاء الله بعدين. بس أنا أريد أعطيكم شوية عن هذا الثيم. Prospero is ready to end what he started with. Listen carefully. Prospero says, "And mine shall, hast thou, which art but a touch of feeling of the reflections, and shall not myself one of their kind, that relish all as sharply passion as they be can remove them now out. Thou, though with their high wrongs highlight." This line is a very interesting line, very important. Though with their high wrongs I am struck to the quick, yet with my nobler reason against my fury do I take part. A question for you: can you control your fury? Do you have a power over yourself? It's a very familiar question. He says, though with their high wrongs, مع كل مشاكلهم ومساوئهم واخطائهم وياي. He says, I am struck to the quick, yet with my nobler reason against my fury, which means against my own self, controlling my own power. Do I take part? The rare action is in virtue than in vengeance. وهذا اللاين اللي هو الدنيا مختبصة عليه. Now, this is definitely in Christianity that if somebody wronged you, you should not wrong him back. You have to forgive. That's it. He said the rare actions, the best actions in life, أفضل ما تسوي بالحياة هو مو الانتقام، هو الفضيلة. The best, the rare actions in life, highlight with me, the rare action is in virtue than in vengeance. Vengeance يعني انتقام، مو revenge and vengeance. So this is theme of forgiveness. هاي ثيمة العفو عند They being penitent, the soul's drift of my purpose does extend, and now a frown further. Go, he says, release them, Ariel. I'll break the senses, I'll restore, and they shall be themselves. They shall be themselves. هاي ثيمة الforgiveness من أهم ثيمات النصر والحقيقة. Question for you guys: if somebody wants, again I'm repeating the same question, if somebody wanted to kill you one day, so are you capable of forgiveness? تقدر تسامح رماك وخطاك لو واحد راد يقتلك عمدا يعني مع سبق الإصرار؟
Of course not. I will finish him.
شنو شلون حسن؟
Yes.
حنين.
Of course not.
شنو
I will
حنين؟
not
Yes,
forgive
شنو؟ You are not going to forgive him. No.
Of course not.
I will finish him later.
Okay, fine. Be ready for such a question. Yes, Batul Muhammad Hassan. But yes, I can. This is the power over the self. What he is saying. He says, against my fury, against my. Do you follow? Against my. Very nice. Here we have two themes or two ideas. Number one, the power over the self. How can you control your anger? Number one. Number two, how can you forgive? هذا العفو مسألة معقدة جدا. على العموم نتكلم إن شاء الله عن هذا الأكت الأخير بالمحاضرة القادمة. عندكم سؤال؟ ما أريد أخذ أكثر.
دكتور ما عندنا سؤال، بس يا ريت تدفع لي ريز هاند، يعني إذا واحد يريد يشارك أو شيء.
ما أعرف لها حسن. أنتم هسه خوش شاركون حلوين. لا مو بالخطأ، ما حطوا شيء يسوي بالبحر، مو عن خطأ. نعم. حسن انا هاي الرئيس ما اعرف لها شلون ادخل لها شلون اسويها.
والله دكتور ما اعرف يعني، بس انا ما اعرف على الحاسبه، بس كلهم يعرفون الحاسبه.
انا احاول ان شاء الله اذا اعرف لها ممتاز ان شاء الله. حلوه هاي
المشاركة
خوش تقنيه يعني خوش
حلوة،
بيها.
ما هذه مشكلة.
لا حلوين ما شاء الله. اتمنى ان شاء الله تستمرون هيك وعلى الفصل الثاني يعني. بسؤال بعد عندكم عن النص عن كذا. انا ما عندي وقت، عندي نص ساعه بس ما اخذها كلها لانه بدينا من اكت الثالث الرابع خلصناه وعبرنا على الخامس، مجرد فكره يعني. الخامس راح نرجع له من البدايه ان شاء الله المحاضره القادمه. عندكم سؤال؟
اخر محاضره قلت اكت الرابع من خلصه راح تنزل لنا الملازم
ان شاء الله ان شاء الله. هسه بعد هاي اليوم لا تقول ملازم، قول ملاحظات. حسن انا ما احب هاي المفرده لان انا ما عندي ملازم، عندي ملاحظات قليله ان شاء الله، بس هي راح تجزي كل شيء وتكفي كل شيء باذن الله
ان شاء الله.
بعد
دكتور بس إن شاء الله المحاضرة الجاية يعني من يا موضوع نبدأ من يا لاين.
نبدا من البدايه اكت 5 نخلصها ان شاء الله كلها نخلصها ونقفل بعد ما عندنا شيء. نبدا شو نسوي النوب اذا عندنا وقت. طبعا انا بهاي الفتره هسه قبل هاي المحاضره اللي راح تجي راح ادزلكم الملاحظات هذا الاسبوع يعني باي يوم ادزهن. ادزهن اربعاء خميس لانه باشر عندي شغل، والثلاثاء عندي محاضرات والرابع. اربعاء خميس جمعه ادزلكم الملاحظات عن الماده كامله ان شاء الله. اختم الاحد القادم. اذا عندنا وقت النوب نسوي حوار او نسوي لنا مثلا كويز ونشوف امكانيتكم وتتعرفون على اسئله هالشكل ان شاء الله باذن الله.
Okay, doctor. Thank you.
Thank you for a
Thank you
lovely
so
lecture,
much.
sir.
Most welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, doctor. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. See you
Happy with
next
that.
lecture.
See you.